What's going on, everybody? BrickBuilder here, and welcome back to another live stream. Today we're going to be doing something pretty cool, which is a thing I'm going to be calling crafting success. So what this is essentially, it's like a live Q&A slash discussion, and specifically today is going to be about how to achieve your YouTube dreams. So I really want you guys to be asking me a lot of questions about like content creation, the back end of YouTube, etc. And I'll do my best to answer, if you have any like questions you want to ask. Obviously, it's kind of what I'm going for with today's stream. And if you guys do want to see more of this crafting success type of stuff, then let me know, because I have lots of different topics that we can do. Sort of like, it's kind of almost like a panel. So if you guys want to go ahead and just start asking me some questions, you guys can go ahead and do that. It'd be much appreciated. So I'm very pumped up and excited for this though, because I have never tried it before, but I have wanted to do it for a while. So I finally decided that today was to do it. We're going to start doing it and hope it goes well. So, but the thing is, the gameplay will not really be a focus. That's not the focal point. The conversation is. So I'm going to be focusing a lot more on that as opposed to the game today. So that's why there won't be a party, because I want to focus on the conversation. I want you guys to really get engaged into like what we're discussing, sort of thing. So if everybody wants to go ahead and ask me some questions, I'm down to hear all of them, and then that sort of thing. So like, if someone wants to ask the first question, feel free. And alright, now we gotta kill this guy though. So here, but yeah, any questions regarding like content creation, YouTube as a whole, whether it be specific to me and my channel, or just like general tips and tricks, advice, etc., all that different stuff. That's kind of what we're going for today, or whatever your YouTube dreams are, let me know, and I will do my best to help you with that, kind of answering questions. So yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions, because I would absolutely love to answer some questions from you guys. So let's go right over here. Alright, anybody got a question? Anybody have their first little question here? But to begin, I think we're going to start off by talking about something that a lot of people don't really focus on. I've noticed recently that a bunch of YouTubers don't make custom thumbnails. And if you don't make custom thumbnails, it's almost like you're doing something wrong. Alright. So, custom thumbnails are super important, because a custom thumbnail is like, think about it as like, when somebody's clicking on a YouTube video, it's almost like they're buying a magazine, except they're paying by watching the ad, or by, they're paying by using their time. So, if somebody's going to buy a magazine, the cover is the first thing they're going to see. The cover and any text. The text is the title, and then obviously the cover is the thumbnail. So, I mean, if the cover's engaging and nice looking and really has a good form to it and like a good style, then you're more likely to have people buy that magazine or click on it. So if you don't make a custom thumbnail, I feel like you're almost doing something wrong. I would strongly suggest making custom thumbnails or looking into how to do it, because it is a pretty smart thing. But for today's stream, we're going to be sticking to questions about this topic, since that's kind of what we're going for. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. I would love to answer them. But, so let's do this thing. So yeah, like, custom thumbnails, pretty important. There's lots of different programs to make them, whether you use Paint.net, you use Photoshop, etc. Really making, like, your own thumbnails is really useful, and it's just a good skill to have too, because you can easily get some like part-time work with thumbnails for sure, as like a freelance artist. So that's definitely a thing that you can like do if in the future you need, some cash or whatnot to fund your YouTube success. Because I mean, YouTubing does get expensive in the beginning. Like you need all the equipment, but you're not bringing in any money to really like spend on it usually. So like it's a pretty difficult starting out usually, and you usually don't get much return on that for a while. But I guess you sort of make up for it in all the fun that is YouTube, because YouTube is a lot of fun to make, when you make it fun, I guess. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I'll happily be down to answer them, since we're going to kind of be talking about, how to make your own success on YouTube and all that sort of thing today. And I'm going to just go over here and just kill this man, though. So, yeah, but like, as I said, custom thumbnails are important. Alright, how do I make a thumbnail and how long does it take? Alright, so here's my process for thumbnails. Thumbnails, depending on the video, will either take anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes. It depends on a lot of different factors. So, when I'm thinking of my thumbnails, I think, this is kind of what I think about. For my video specifically, since they're all, essentially similar in core concept, I don't have to mention I don't really have to mention the game. Like, the game doesn't actually have to be the core focus. For some people who play all different games, you need to make the game apparent. But since my channel is Minecraft focused, I can, rather than focus on making the thumbnail be quote-unquote Minecraft, I focus on making it be based off something that happens in the game. And it usually correlates to the title. So, like, for instance, if I do something like, you know, for instance, like this, you can see the thumbnail has, you know, it's still got, like, the basic little Minecraft crafting success thing, but then it also has, like, the YouTube logos and stuff. But you still know this is a Minecraft thing because it comes from me. So that's, like, a thing that I do. But making a thumbnail, first you need the idea. Sometimes the idea is harder to get. Sometimes the idea takes, you know, a couple tries to really get right. But then the actual making the thumbnail is usually easier than coming up with the idea part. But for some people, it's the other way around. It depends on how complicated of an idea you do and all that stuff of that nature. But that was a great question. Thanks for that. How many views do you need to make money? That depends. To comfortably live, like, you know, if you were to get a full-time job, minimum wage, you're making $15,000 a year. $15,000 a year is a lot, you know, it's a lot. Because if you look at it as, the average is that, basically the average for YouTube CPM, which is how much you get per ad, essentially every single 1,000 views is $1. So basically what I would strongly suggest going by is every 1,000,000 views, that's about $1,000, which, you know, depends. If you're like, you know, an adult who's trying to do this as a career, or whether you're just being a kid doing this to earn a little bit of cash, you know, it's going to really affect how much you need to comfortably live. So, you know, but a minimum wage job is getting around 15 million views a year, which if you do that, it depends on what type of videos you're producing. You know, if you're making once a day, or, you know, you're making them a lot more, it depends. But of course, your CPM can be like slightly higher depending on stuff, but that's a different thing. All right. How do you gain a lot of subs? In my opinion, consistency is super important, as well as just hard work, dedication, and really knowing how to promote yourself using tags. All that stuff, you know, just doing like the little back-end stuff of YouTube. YouTube is just as much making videos as it is everything else. And people who only make videos and don't focus on editing, thumbnails, all that other stuff aren't going to really obtain a lot of success, most likely. Here we go. Any tips to be good at commentary? Great question. It depends what you're going for. For me, there's like, for me, I generally go with, the type of commentary I go with is what I would refer to as the entertaining type. There's like different types, like, you know, whether you're trying to persuade somebody, you know, inform somebody, or entertain somebody. There's 3 different categories here. So if you're trying to inform somebody, I strongly suggest having some form of script. If you're doing some sort of a tutorial or some news story or something of that nature, you definitely want to have some form of script or something to go off of. You better know your facts, because that's like what matters there. And like, to be good at a commentary like that, you can't have lots of misinformation and whatnot like that. For the persuading, it's quite important that, you know, well, you actually end up persuading people. You know, you have to use things that would get the person listening, get them engaged, and then make them interested in what you're, you know, doing. So that's a thing. And then if you're doing the, you know, the, what I call the entertaining style, it is definitely a lot harder to do that one than it is to do any other style, because it doesn't really fall under one particular category. There's no way to, like, there's no method or formula to obtain success in entertainment. It's what entertains people. So everybody's going to be entertained in different ways. But for me personally, what I personally do, and if you guys do want to try to do something like this, you can. But I personally do a lot of upbeat stuff, lots of like random hoo-la-las, I like to call it, just like random words, random like spew of phrases, you know, like hustle and bustle and etc. I say that a lot. I'll say like boom shakalaka, all that different stuff. I'll just say that randomly, you know, in there, just to kind of add that, and then I'll make a lot of references to other things that people may have found entertaining. I don't know, that works for me, but everybody else is obviously going to have their own different versions there. How do I make thumbnails? I use a combination of Photoshop and Paint.net for mine, personally, but, you know, you can use whatever you want. All different programs work. Photoshop's not free. Paint.net, though, is 100% free, so, I mean, it is quite possible that you could get that program and then make the same quality thumbnails for me. Now, what recording software would I recommend? If you're going to do a recording software and you want to record your screen or webcam or whatnot, I highly recommend OBS. It does require a decently powerful computer depending on your settings, but if you put it to lower settings that you customize, you can then, you know, record, and one major advantage to it is it uses your graphics card. So if playing a game like Minecraft, which is CPU intense, will not lag your Minecraft, but like it won't lag your Minecraft because it's using a different computer part. That might just be some crazy hoo-ha-la to some of you guys, but I think it works, and it does. But of course, there's other ones as well. Honestly, recording software, I think a lot of people put a lot of time into the recording software. I honestly don't think the recording software makes a huge difference. Like, that's not going to make or break your video. As long as it looks okay in quality, you know. I feel like the look of the game, especially for something like Minecraft, can be forgived a little bit because, I mean, the graphics are already kind of poor on the game. But it's focused on a lot of other different things, such as, like, the, you know, commentary, what you're doing in the game. Those probably matter more than the actual, like, look of it, in my opinion. But for high-end games, if you have a lower computer and you're trying to record it, probably not the smartest move. But again, that goes back to the expensive to begin, but then, like, later payoff possibly thing. So, yeah. Alright. Now, if you guys have any more questions, let me know. I'm happily, you know, down to answer them. So that is a thing. And yeah, I'm absolutely loving this. Thank you guys so much for the questions you've already sent in, you know. I do think this is quite fun because I really think I know my craft regarding YouTube, although I'm not, you know, making millions of dollars or, you know, PewDiePie yet or ever. But, you know, maybe that's not really what I'm going for, to be honest. And that's another thing you guys have to do. So if you're going to pinpoint your success on YouTube, you have to know what success is to you. Is success on YouTube to you guys like, you know, 20 million subs, or is it, you know, just to entertain people? Is it to persuade people? You know, what's your, like, goal with it? That's going to make a huge difference. It really does depend on what you want to do to success. It's going to dictate what you do, you know. If views are your sole thing that you want to try to achieve, you know, then maybe make viral type content, you know, or whatever you're going for. That's what's going to matter. You got to, like, focus your channel on how you want to success. That's a thing. So, yeah, like, that's going to be important. But, yeah. So, here we go. There we go. Nice little victory. So, yeah, guys, any questions about this stuff? Here we go. But, yeah, I'm trying to keep questions on topic regarding that today. I'll be doing, like, a general Q&A in the future with other different questions. That'll be a video. But I want to do questions regarding YouTube and stuff today, specifically for the content creators who are, you know, excited for the summer and are trying to build their channels this summer and really grow. That's kind of what we're doing today. It's like a panel-ish Q&A thing regarding YouTube and, like, how to do it properly and all that stuff. If you have any questions, obviously, about anything YouTube related, you know, whether it be my channel personally or something like that. Alright. You know, all that stuff. Whether it be that or it's just be, you know, generic to all YouTube or how you can do it, etc. All that stuff works. So, yeah, of course. Just let me know a question and I'll happily answer it. What demographic do you think is best to be geared towards? So, for starters, anybody who says, oh, I'm geared towards everybody, generally doesn't work. You can't appeal to everybody. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that people from other demographics can't like you. What that means is that you have to pick one audience and target it. And it depends what you're doing. You know, for gaming, you can do adult gaming, you can do, you know, family friendly, etc. For news, it's probably better to target adults for the most part because that's more of an adult interested thing, you know. Same with politics, etc. But it really depends on what you're doing. But if you're doing gaming, it really depends on you because, like, gaming's a thing that, like, adults do just as much as kids do. Although it's like a thing that, you know, both people are likely to be interested in. So really, choosing your demographic is based on, you know, what you want to do. Although I would strongly suggest choosing a demographic that you can safely stay in and really brand yourself to that, you know, demographic. Like, for instance, me, I kind of focused on, like, the family-friendly aspect just because that's kind of who I am as a person. So I can stay in that pretty easily, you know, and it's not like me faking a persona. So that works for me there. But, you know, it all comes down to what you personally want to do. Adults work, you know, the one advantage is there probably are less adults who watch this sort of thing, but the adults are the ones who are more likely to have money to spend on, you know, merchandising and etc. in the future if you ever get there. But at the same time, there's more kids, so they can make up in the AdSense versions and all that other stuff. But it really just depends what you're going for here. When I first started YouTube, were you shy and how did you get rid of the shyness? So I personally was not very shy, although I will say I definitely was more shy than I am now. I don't think I was, like, as shy as other people are when they started YouTube. But that was because I literally planned out how I was going to start YouTube for, like, a couple weeks before, and I practiced, you know, like, recording and all that stuff before, which, yeah, practicing recording, that was an interesting time when I, like, just practiced it rather than doing it. Now I would suggest, you know, just going for it and just doing it. Like nowadays, there's no time to waste, you know, just go ahead. If you don't start today, like, you know, that's a day wasted, in my opinion, I would say, sort of thing. But how do you get rid of your shyness? Honestly, consistency and practice. And also, you start to realize that when people like what you're doing, like my upbeat commentary style wasn't always a thing. And when I started doing it, I thought it was kind of weird. But then you guys started saying that you liked it and that you loved it, and it made me feel more confident in it. Now it's just kind of a thing I do because all you guys like it. But to get rid of shyness, I would just say practice, keep going and going and going. Try to become more outgoing with it and just really run with it. Because, like, remember this. If somebody's watching your videos and they come back again, that means they liked you. So that's what I look for, you know. Now, here we go. Next question is, what are my specs, or at least your gigabytes of RAM? So I have 16 gigs of RAM. No, I have 32 gigs of RAM. There we go. Let me get that right. I don't know why I said 16, because I had 16, then I bought another 16. So yeah, that's confusing. But I have a GTX 970, and I have an i7 core. Pretty good specs. For me, personally, it's kind of what I wanted, because I wanted to have a good enough computer that could run, you know, pretty much all my YouTubing pretty easily, as well as just other stuff, you know, like general gaming and whatnot. Alright, let's see. Here's another question. Here we go. How do you get more people to watch your YouTube channel? So there's a couple different ways to get people to watch your YouTube channel. The first one is word of mouth, which really depends on what type of content you're making. For instance, gaming is generally not the greatest word to mouth type of business model. But something like the news, where everybody, you know, I guess, has a stance on it, sort of thing, is more likely, because more people are likely to be engaged with it. So that's like a thing that, it depends on what you're going for here, obviously. But there's that, obviously, and then there's the, you know, making trending-ish style content that definitely can help, you know. If you're making stuff that people do want to watch and that people are looking for, they're sure to come back. Obviously, promoting on allowed forums, as well as things such as, you know, like Discords, Twitters, etc. All that stuff is pretty useful. You know, building your social media presence is very important. And I'm still currently working on that. Like, I'm still working on myself how to do that. Alright, let's see. Thanks, very helpful. No problem, just trying to help all content creators out there, you know. Alright, you have a question. How do you get 2,000 within 6 months? Lots of hard work and really planning everything out. Because that's the thing I've noticed. A lot of YouTubers, they won't plan things out and then it doesn't work out. If you don't plan it, it's not going to work for the most part. Do you need a game PC to get a lot of subs? Not necessarily. There are lots of YouTubers who don't have gaming computers, like but still manage to get, you know, lots of subs and make YouTube a career. Although having the gaming computer does likely help, but it's always the thing you can invest in down the line when YouTube's already making you money, I guess, in a way. So that's a thing. Alright. Now, how do you not stutter or stall while talking and playing the game? So this will happen to me occasionally, but generally I don't have it because I kind of focus a lot on my commentary, and it's just something you get sort of get used to. I mean, I've made over 500 videos at this point, so I've been saying, you know, talking fast and like at least for like over like, you know, 90 or so days, and you're just kind of getting this mindset when you're recording that like talking is this thing you have to do, and it's all that stuff. So that's definitely a thing, you know, like really focusing on your commentary is pretty important, and just getting better at talking in general is a thing. And one thing I probably might do in the future is I'd actually like to kind of give you guys like a bit of a lesson on public speaking, because public speaking has helped me so much with this, like, you know, like presenting projects in school or whatnot. That does honestly help a ton with YouTube. Like, knowing how to do that can like make or break your commentary. Like, there's a reason that all these big YouTubers who are doing like comedy based channels go to, like, you know, they're taking improv classes and all that stuff, because it's pretty important to their success. But that's something we'll probably do in the future. But personally, just kind of practice and consistency will really help you with that, as well as just kind of talking a lot in the same style. You know, don't like fake your talking. So like, you know, I talk fast like this all the time, saying random spews of whatever, you know, it really does help. So that's like a thing that just kind of helps me. I don't really have to like think about it anymore. Is it expensive to get all the stuff for YT? And if you're a kid, how are you going to get the money? So, is it expensive? Depends on what you're making. For me personally, I have spent a pretty big sum of money on my setup. But the thing is, it wasn't all purchased specifically for YouTube, and I do enjoy using it, obviously, so I found it worth it. Now, it definitely is expensive. It can be expensive if you make it expensive, but you can also make do with what you have. You know, obviously having some quality is something that you're going to kind of need to really stand a shot, but it's possible without the greatest quality to make it. I mean, there's YouTubers who have done that, and they've admitted it, how they all started on like really bad stuff, but then they worked their way up to the top, and it's possible. So it works. And if you're a kid, how are you going to get the money? Well, there's lots of different ways to get the money, but just as a kid, working or earning it or getting it in small different chunks, what is something that works? You know, like whether it's like a, you know, it doesn't have to all be purchased at once. You can upgrade and upgrade and upgrade, you know. And then like with those upgrades, you can also make review videos every single time you get a new piece of equipment, you know. Just make a little quick review. I mean, you know, like that way other people who are looking into this piece of technology or this camera or whatever it is will be able to see what you think about it, you know, which just kind of helps other content creators. And content creators helping other content creators is super important. It's kind of important, you know, talking to other creators, filming with them, etc. All that's very important to sustaining your YouTube like success, basically. So yeah, but if you guys have any more questions, let me know. I'm having so much fun. I think you guys are too. I definitely am enjoying this, so hopefully you guys are as well. But I definitely plan to do more of these if you guys do enjoy them. But here we go. So if you guys have any more questions, let me know. You know, I'm down to answer them. So yeah, let's just keep these questions flowing and going, you know. See, I say that a lot too. That's just like a random phrase that I'll say. And I mean, obviously take some inspiration from my sayings, you know. Don't copy them, but you can feel free to use them. What do I record with? I record with OBS, and I stream with OBS Studio. I found these to be the best programs because, well, one, they're custom coded, so I can like add my own stuff to them, like my own custom coded stuff. But then second of all, it has lots of customization already there, so I can like already play around with the settings to get my ideal look and what I'm going for. In addition to that, it has like lots of different abilities. Like in the future, I could overlay a webcam. I could, you know, add the overlay that's on the top, you know, the sub count that's there because of it, all that sort of cool stuff that like you can't do in certain recording softwares, you know. And I wanted to have access to all of that stuff. And honestly, OBS is also free, which is like a huge advantage to it. I mean, you know, that's the thing. So yeah, that's the thing. All right, and here we go. Yeah, OBS is what I personally use to record with, because you just get a lot of customization out of it, which is what I like, you know, and like lots of just abilities to do whatever you're really interested. Like you can pretty much make anything happen with that. Like you can have web pages showing up, all that stuff. It has like chroma key, so you can like chroma things out, etc. So like it's just really useful and has lots of features that like most paid programs don't even have, which is like kind of crazy in my opinion. That like this free software is like probably better than most paid ones, which I find kind of crazy itself. But that's just, I guess, maybe my opinion. And there are obviously other good programs. You don't have to use OBS to be a good YouTuber. There's tons that don't use OBS, so yeah. But yeah, bitrate does help, you know, if you're going for something like that. It really depends what you're going for, you know. So yeah, here we go. Here we go. All right. What do you do when you can't log into your account and you try to reset the password but the email won't reach and you can't do anything else? So generally, for me personally, I would suggest coming up with a spot that isn't digital on a place to store your passwords. Because if you keep them digital, that's a bit of an issue. So, like, personally, if you keep them digitally, they're more likely to get hacked. Something's more likely to go wrong. So that's why I prefer to keep a physical copy of all my passwords. I just find it a lot more safe and secure, personally. That's just me. But I don't know, that's just my opinion there. So, yeah, but of course, just try to remember your passwords better and write them down somewhere. Don't try to memorize all your passwords and don't use the same passwords because that'll screw you over. If one thing gets hacked, it all gets hacked. Do you need to use your voice in vids or can you just leave game sounds? It depends what you're going for. Again, that's kind of like a more personal thing. You know, it depends. Like your custom, you know, your custom style, I guess, what you're going for. You know, like some people, they don't need their voice. Other people, the voice is what makes their content. Like for me, my commentary is, I think, pretty much what makes my content. You know, like without my commentary, my content wouldn't be the same. And it wouldn't be like it is now. So like, it's kind of important to me that I have that. But for some content creators, it's not necessary. And that's understandable and it's alright, you know. Although personally, I feel like a lot more people nowadays do use their voice. You don't have to. So yeah, you have a quad-core laptop, try to use OBS, but still have trouble, tons of lag in Minecraft when OBS is running. What settings do you suggest? Personally, I would try to do like different settings. I would just say like try to lower them a bit, you know. Maybe lower your Minecraft settings personally. So yeah, that could be probably a smarter move. Maybe you know, try lowering some settings or possibly try upgrading, you know, like with like, you know, different things. I don't really know 100% what your setup is, but yeah. Alrighty, here we go. And let's go ahead and get down here. But yeah, that's a great question. Thanks so much for asking. But yeah, your password is 22 characters, you ran it down, or 21 characters, you ran it down. Nice. That's definitely a smart move there. Gotta keep your passwords safe, because if you don't protect your passwords, it's a bit of an issue. Protecting your passwords in your online accounts is very important, because, like, for instance, for a lot of YouTubers, they get hacked. Right there goes their livelihood, like for full-time YouTubers, and that's a problem. So that's a thing. All right. Now, YouTubers that are speaking in their videos are better, in your opinion. Yeah, of course, but that's up to debate. It depends on the type of content you're making and all that sort of thing. You know, everybody has their own styles, and if you don't want to do your own, you know, commentary, there's probably different versions of content that aren't probably gaming related but you can manage to do. You know, that you can do for having somebody else voice over. Like, for instance, like you have somebody who reads the script or all that different stuff. It really depends on, you know, what you're going for, what your type of content is, because not everything is gaming. Alright. Screen recorder to use. I use OBS because I feel like it's the most customizable, but that's just my personal opinion there, T-Storm 15, so thanks so much for that. But OBS is just what I personally use. Okay, there we go. We got that kill. And here we go. Yeah. I'm not 100% sure how I'll be with your email problem. Sorry, but hopefully in the future you'll be able to figure that out. I would suggest like going to forums and stuff. What is a cheap beginner mic that you would suggest? Depends on how much money you have. In my opinion, I started with the Blue Yeti, and a lot of people recommend it. I personally don't. So I'm not a huge Blue Yeti like supporter personally. I don't know why. I just didn't enjoy it. I didn't think it was like the greatest audio quality ever, like everybody says it is. Although for the price, it was pretty good. But in my opinion, I recommend for beginner mics, I would suggest going with certain headset mics. If you get like a higher end headset, you can get a good mic on it. If you go, and then if that doesn't, if you want like an actual mic, a Blue Snowball works, because those things are, you know, adequate. And then if you're trying to go a little bit up, then I would suggest going with the AT2020 or Blue Yeti. They're kind of similar. And then, of course, if you're looking at like higher end microphone, which of course you asked for a beginner one, but regardless, you know, if you're looking for something high end, then go for the AT2035 XLR microphone. That's what I'm currently using. It sounds pretty good, and of course, it'll probably sound better if you play around with settings and stuff more. But that's a thing that you can do, and I would strongly suggest that mic. All right. What if you need to make a video every day, but you have no idea for the video? Well, for starters, making a video every day isn't always the best move. Daily videos is not always a good idea. You know, sometimes it's the quality over quantity concept, and other times it's quantity over quality. It really depends what you're making, you know? But personally, if you have to make a video every single day and you don't have ideas, what I would strongly suggest doing is making a list of ideas. And making it so what happens is you have to add, you know, every single time you film a video, you have to add another idea to the list. So you'll always, so make a list of 10 ideas. And then whenever you film one of those ideas, you have to add another one to the list. That way there'll always be 10 ideas on the list. That's enough that if you ever had to go away on a vacation, or you had to pre-record or you got sick or whatever, you'd have enough ideas to be able to do it. I personally do this. I have 30 video ideas always lined up that I can use, because I think it's so useful to have my list of ideas whenever I come up with them. Whenever. Like, it works to my phone, my tablets, etc. All that stuff. It's all, like, it's cross-compatible. So I can see the list wherever, and I can add to it whenever. Because whenever I get an idea, I want to be able to add it instantly so I don't forget it. And, like, anything that comes with it. Like, I'll write what the idea is. You know, if I have any ideas for the thumbnail, I'll write that, etc. Anything. Anything that can possibly help me think of it better, I'm going to write it there. That's kind of what I do, but I think it works pretty well. So, yeah. Alright, here we go. Yeah, if you guys have any other questions regarding content creation, let me know, since it's kind of what we're doing today. We're doing like a Q&A on YouTube and how to do content and all that stuff. So if you guys do enjoy, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. It's very much appreciated. It really does help me out, and that knockback was awesome. Yeah, that's kind of what we're going for today. I'm super excited. So, yeah. Alright. Yeah, let's do this thing. Looks like we're going pretty good at the moment, so thank you guys for that support. It does mean a lot. Alrighty, here we go. But yeah, that's what I would do. I have my list. It's got tons of ideas on it, and it does work quite well. Alright, do I know any good editing softwares for computer? So, if you're starting out, a lot of people say don't use this and like that you should get an editing software, but in my opinion, I think it's possible. Now, in my opinion, you can make do with Windows Movie Maker and do okay if you know how to use it. Everything that even the simplest things though, they just take like a lot longer in there. Like to slow something down or to like change all that music stuff, it just adds a lot of extra junk to do it, but you can edit something good in Windows Movie Maker, and there's still big YouTubers who do that. That's definitely a thing people do. So that's the thing. But then Sony Vegas is what I use personally, and it works pretty well. And then there is also, in addition to that, there's also, you know, Adobe, which works very well. That's what you see a lot of YouTubers using. And a lot of movies, like Hollywood-based movies, are actually edited on that, so that is a thing. Alright. That is certainly a thing that you can do. What's my first video? It's a video on the channel. You can check it out, obviously, if you want to. It is still there, not private. I haven't privated a single video I've uploaded, so like that's a thing. Alright, what's an amazing screen recorder for Minecraft? That'd be OBS. That's what I personally use. There we go. But yeah, that's a thing. So, yeah. Alright. But, you know, it is strongly recommended that you do edit your videos at least a little bit. You know, maybe your video doesn't need background music, but like cutting out the boring parts, background music, adding like funny captions, etc. All that stuff can really help like up the quality level of your content, you know? Because like nobody's gonna, you know, if you're just sitting there like mining for 45 minutes in Minecraft or whatever, cut out the mining and just go right to the building, or just only do the cool parts of the cave. Like, you know, nobody needs to see the whole experience for the most part to still feel happy at the end of the video. That's kind of the thing there. Alright, but if you guys have any more questions, let me know. As long as regarding content creation, I will happily answer them. We'll be doing a generic Q&A in the future, so if anybody has like any specific questions for me, that'd be the time to ask them. Alright, we need to try and... okay. But yeah, that's the thing. I'm gonna take a sip of water though. And yeah, definitely try to drink before you record. Like having a nice like amount of water in your system before you just talk and like for a long extended period of time is really helpful, so you don't damage your vocal cords. And in addition to that, so you can do more crazy things, because like, you know, screaming and stuff will use up any sort of moisture left in your throat, so building up a lot of it is useful. A lot of people don't even seem to realize that, but like whenever I record, I will have like a giant, at least a bottle of water basically, because like having all that does let me talk a lot faster than not having it without like a problem. So that is a thing. Alright, and there's that. Would replay mod be good for recordings? It does work pretty well. I have seen people use that and it works. So yeah. It really, you know, the best thing about YouTube is that it's not a, you know, like, it doesn't matter what programs you use. In the end, it's whatever product you can put out. However you do it is what's going to matter. So that's what I would suggest focusing on. Get a good product out with whatever programs you know how to use best, or you want to use, you know, etc. Like, again, there's YouTubers who know how to use, you know, Windows Movie Maker and make some really high quality stuff, which is like ridiculous, you know, or like, you know, like for instance, there's YouTubers such as Casey Neistat, who's not even using like a high quality editing program, but is still making some of the top-notch quality stuff on YouTube. So that's like a crazy thing. Alright. Like, honestly, like, it doesn't matter your recording software to really dictate it. And remember, guys, we're sticking to questions regarding content creation and how to achieve your YouTube dreams today, like kind of like a tips and tricks thing for YouTube. Today with content questions, so if they're not regarding that, I'm not going to be reading them, sorry, but that's kind of a thing we're going to be focusing on. And also, I'd appreciate if you guys didn't speculate my age, just because nobody here knows my age, and I'm not planning to reveal it for anytime soon, maybe in the future, but not right now. So that's not going to be happening today. At least I know that. So, yeah. But if you guys have any more questions regarding content creation, let me know. I'm definitely down to answer them. We've had some really good questions so far, and I think a lot of you guys are asking some really good questions, and hopefully you guys are learning a bit, you know? Because that's kind of what we're trying to go here. I'm trying to inform some of you guys on different, like, really ways to get, you know, your YouTube dreams to happen. Because, like, you know, I mean, you and me are still in the same game, you know, like, but I just think I'm a pretty knowledgeable person on this, so I figured I would make something here. But I'm not going to be sharing my age, and I'm not going to, you know, tell you guys if you're right or wrong. If you could just stop speculating my age, that'd be appreciated, since none of you guys know how old I am at all, like, just at all, period. Like, there's nothing you would do. like period, and yeah, that's the thing. What computer I use and mouse? My computer's custom built, and mouse I use the Death Adder Chroma, but you know all those different things work. You don't need to have that equipment to do good. You can have better equipment. Is it easy to find other YouTubers to do videos with? It really depends, you know. If you're doing, what I would suggest doing is always look for content creators that are either at your size or smaller. It's generally a lot harder to get YouTubers who are bigger to film with you. I mean, it does work, but it's a lot harder. So focus on trying to get creators who are smaller but make good quality, or YouTubers who are around your size for finding YouTubers to do videos with. And don't like spam them to be annoying, sort of thing. But yeah. And is action recording software good? I've personally never used it, but I have heard it's pretty good. So that is a thing. Or do I move to OBS? See, I personally use OBS, so I would lean towards OBS. But I've heard that both are pretty good. So honestly, it's whichever one works better for you and which one looks better in your opinion. I do know there's probably more flexibility with OBS, but I've had heard that Action has some really high quality stuff on it, and it's probably easier to use. So it really depends on what you're going for here. There, you know, programs at the end of the day, whatever program you use, as long as the product you're making is good, it won't matter how you made it. Like that, at the end of the day, that's seriously how it works with almost every like business ever, and it applies to YouTube too. So that's a thing. All right. If you guys have any more questions regarding content creation and how to achieve your YouTube dreams, let me know. If you guys have been enjoying, make sure to drop a like. Would YouTube be like a full-time job, or should you do YT as a hobby? So the way I look at it is you have to only do YT as a hobby until it can actually be your full-time job. Once it is your full-time job, then you should treat it like that. But until then, just treat it more as a hobby that you'd like to turn one day into a career. If that's obviously what you want to do. If you're only doing it for fun, then just, you know, do it for fun and just, well, run with it, you know, have fun, of course, with it. But if you're trying to eventually make it, you know, into, like, you know, a thing in the future as a career, then you need to, like, focus on, you know, how to build it into that career one day. Because that's going to be, like, vital to you actually getting there one day. You know, you need planning, you need foresight, you need to know what's working, what's not, and you need to be able to adjust. Because that's the thing, YouTube is a rapidly changing platform. And if you can't adjust with it, then you're going to get left behind in the dust. Like, that's just thanks to the power of the internet and, like, this internet age we're in right now. And, like, if you look on the grand scheme of, like, the world, things are moving faster and changing quicker now than they did in the Industrial Revolution. Like, that's a thing that we're going to need to, like, worry about and be able to, you know, change. Because if you can't, that's going to be a problem. So, yeah. What subscriber count would it be a full-time job? 100K or 1 mil? Depends. Depends on how much you need. Like, if you need, you know, depends how much you need to live comfortably. Some people, they can make it a full-time job even before they hit 100K, depending on their views and their donations and all that stuff, you know. It's not necessarily vital for that. You know, some people can live off of a less amount of money. Meanwhile, other people, you know, need to have a decent portion, you know, 6 figures at minimum, to be able to live comfortably. So it depends on what you personally need to live comfortably, which, you know, it depends. And it's not really a specific number thing. Like, I don't think people can say, oh, at this many subscribers, oh, I'm gonna go full-time with YouTube. Because it doesn't really work like that. It's more of a thing that's based off of not really how much you, like, how many people you have, but it's more of how much money you make. Since obviously a job, you know, to decide if it's a full-time job is a money factor there, in my opinion. At least that's what I think. What else? What do you use to make thumbnails? I have everything else down except that. I use Photoshop and OBS. Not OBS. And Photoshop and Paint.net. Why did I even say OBS? I don't even know. It's not even related, but okay. That's the thing. Alright, here we go. Let's see. Next question. Thinking of getting a Minecraft channel. Should I just do one thing on Minecraft or more than one thing? It depends what you're going for. If you go for one thing in the beginning, it's going to be harder to transition to something else in the future. So, yeah. That's definitely a thing. But, if you're focused on, I guess, the variety and just playing Minecraft, that also works. And obviously, if you play something your audience likes, you know, that has more variety, it does work. Although, just realize that you're sort of separating your audience if you play different versions of Minecraft. You know, like, I have people on the channel who only watch my streams, who, like, only like my Skywars, who only like this game mode, etc., this, that, and, you know, whatever. Like, so that's definitely a thing. But it just comes down to what you personally want to do. And honestly, I don't think it makes a huge difference what you do, as long as you stick in one genre, like gaming. Don't do gaming, music, and, you know, covers, as well as news, as well as like all memes, Vine compilations, all stuff. It doesn't work in one channel. So yeah, that's definitely a thing. But yeah, that's something that I would suggest. So yeah, you know, it's important to know your audience and know who you're targeting, you know, and what you want to target. Like for instance, I in the past have targeted a lot of Skywars players. That used to be like my sole focus was Skywars, and that's what I was trying to focus only. Right now it's more like Minecraft in general sort of thing. But you know, the audience that you're targeting can shift and change over time, you know, like that. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, it works. That's what a lot of YouTubers do. You know, they'll play one game and then they'll go to another one and they're targeting that audience while keeping some of their previous audience. It's a pretty confusing like concept, but just in general, you can pretty much change who you're targeting whenever you feel like it. There's no real like, you know, you're not being locked in theory. Although it probably from a business standpoint makes sense to kind of start what you're trying to keep from the beginning. It just is easier that way. But you know, at the end of the day, if YouTube isn't your business, have fun with it. You know, that's the way I look at it. You know, if you're not making it into a job and it's not depicting your livelihood, why not have fun with it? Experiment. You know, have some fun. You know, just run with it. Whatever happens, happens, sort of thing. If you have any more questions though regarding content creation or how to achieve your YouTube dreams, whether it be something specific to me, whether it be uploading, tagging, etc., whatever. All that stuff, titling your videos, etc. Just let me know, and I'll happily get into it. I'm shocked nobody's asked any questions about clickbait, but you know, that's alright. I mean, that's like a huge misconception on YouTube, and I have made videos on it in the past because it's something I'm pretty passionate about. Because like a lot of people don't even know what it is, like, or what it truly is. I guess like they have this misconception on it, and it sort of bugs me. But that's besides the point. So yeah, alrighty, and here we go. Here we go. If you send me a friend request, I do accept them, but we're sticking to content questions today. But yeah, there we go. Oh my gosh, how did we miss those? And here we go. Oh my, this guy's not taking me on or out. Oh my gosh, wait. There wasn't a bridge there. Alright, well, we're going to take a couple more questions. And then that's going to wrap up today's stream. So, if you guys enjoy, be sure to drop a like and subscribe. It's very much appreciated. So, yeah. Here we go. Let's go down here. Looks like we're going to be good to go. But yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk a little bit about clickbait. So, let's get right into it. So, clickbait, is it good or bad? In my opinion, and this is going to be one that a lot of you, I'm going to need to like explain. In my opinion, clickbait is actually good. Mind blown right now. All you guys are like exploding. Wait, what? So, okay, clickbait in its core is good. The definition of clickbait, like, actually is, clickbait is actually what would be known as making your title something that's easy to, like, that makes people want to click on it. Now, that's a good thing. Because, like, for instance, if I'm making a video, here, look, I want to explain this. So, if I'm making a video, and my video is a Skywars video, typing Minecraft Skywars Let's Play with Nerds is a terrible title. That's not clickbait. This isn't clickbait right here. Now the clickbait would be Let's Play Minecraft Skywars with Nerds. That'd be clickbait. It's related to the video, but it's still clickbait. That's clickbait right there. Like, that's a thing. That's clickbait in its core. Is not misleading. You know, red arrows and stuff. That's not clickbait. That's just people misusing a word that used to be a good thing to kind of give it a negative connotation. And it kind of bugs me a bit because, like, you know, you want titles that are clickable. That's like a thing you want. As long as you're not misleading or what actually you're clickbaiting relates to the video, it's completely fine. That's the thing. But that's my clickbait little rant right there. Now, what's my opinion on YouTubers filling a description with tags? You're abusing the algorithm. You can't get banned for that. So, yeah. Which, by the way, the algorithm is a whole other topic that we're probably not even going to be able to get into because, well, let's be real. Nobody knows about the algorithm. That's the thing that makes the algorithm so, like, thing. Would I recommend somebody to have 2 channels on one game or 1 on multiple games? Depends what you're going for. Are you trying to make 2 separate audiences where you're the key focus between the 2? Or do you want a 1 gaming-based audience? It depends what you're looking for there. It's all about your audience, really. At the end of the day, your audience is, like, the one thing you need to think about the most on YouTube. Anything else, you know, thumbnails, how many videos you can make. At the end of the day, if you can't get the audience to enjoy and come back to what you're producing, no matter how good of a quality is it is, you're not going to make it. And that's the one thing. Finding your audience can take YouTubers years. And that's why not all YouTubers succeed. Because everybody is not capable of finding their audience. So that's like a key focus that you really have to work on, is being able to pinpoint and target a particular audience or a particular demographic. And then somehow also having the potential for other demographics to be interested. That's going to make or break your YouTube channel right there. Like, any content creator can tell you that, that's like a huge deal. If, if people are interested, that's a thing. So, yeah. Alright, will clickbait be a good standpoint as a beginning factor or just a bad standpoint? By the way, congrats on 1.7. Okay, well, thanks for the congratulations. In my opinion, I like clickbait. I think it's a good thing to do as long as you're clickbaiting within reason and what you're clickbaiting actually relates to the video, Using words that people want to click on, like insane or epic, that's not a problem. Now, I mean, doing something misleading, such, that's different, though. But if what you're saying relates to your video, then it's completely understandable. So, yeah, that's definitely a thing. But that is definitely something to focus on. So, in my opinion, it works. I think it's a good thing. Now, obviously, if you're misleading, that's going to not be a good move. Don't mislead your audience. That's part of, the problem with, like, today's YouTube. That's a thing. So, yeah. But, don't try to clickbait. Try to keep it related to your video, at least in essence. That's really going to make a difference here. I think a lot of YouTubers nowadays try to get away with it, especially the bigger ones. And they're able to get away with it a little bit better because they still have people who will watch them just for it. But remember, you're not at their size. So for you trying to compete with somebody who has millions of subscribers, they can clickbait and there won't be any repercussions for them besides more AdSense. For smaller creators, it's going to matter a lot more. Because that can dictate whether somebody subscribes, sort of thing. So, yeah. That's definitely a thing. Alright, there we go with that. But yeah. Finding your audience and really targeting them is going to make a huge difference. So, make sure you try to do that, like, as fast as early on as you can find your audience and know what you're targeting. That's going to make a huge difference, Whether you're going family friendly, you're going for adult-based content, whatever you're going for. Stick to that and focus on that, like only that, like that's gonna mean a lot to really just the way that YouTube ends up working out for you, is depending on who you're targeting and if you can target them well. How many uploads do you recommend each day? It depends on what you're making. For instance, me, I do 1 to 3 videos a day every single day, as well as streaming pretty much spontaneously now. But it depends on what you're going for. For some channels, daily uploads is fine. For some channels, once a week is fine. That's a thing. Our trolling video is a good way to grow a channel. Any video that people would watch is a good way to grow a channel. So something that's entertaining, informative, or persuasive, those will help you grow your channel. And trolling videos do fall into the entertainment form, so if people enjoy those, they are a good way to grow the channel. But there's lots of different ways to do it. You can make the best videos ever, but if you don't know how to tag, you don't know how to make thumbnails, you don't know how to get your audience engaged, you're not going to get anywhere on YouTube. If you can't make a video that can keep people watching, you're done. Because YouTube is heavily focused on the amount of time somebody watches your videos and watches your channel specifically, and how long it keeps them on the site for. Like, that's what matters. And like when videos are promoted, if somebody will watch 10 of your videos in one sitting, then you're going to get more promoted than for somebody who would only watch, half of one of the videos. So like, it matters a ton with that sort of thing. Like, that's the algorithm, and that's just the way it works. So you have to play by it, and you have to really focus on that a bit, Obviously, you need people to watch for extended periods of time. So you got to keep them engaged for, well, longer than, sort of thing. So making, because it's a system. So it's important that you make stuff that people will want to watch, and that has replay value. That, like, isn't a day-to-day thing. Like, somebody can rewatch this video any day, and it'll be, good. Like, that's the thing. Like, it won't be old, it won't be stale, it won't be irrelevant. Because if it is, then that video is going to not get any, like, watch after. So people are more likely to click away if they see that video, which you don't really want to happen. You want to keep people on your channel as long as you possibly can. That's why you use things like end cards and, focus on, hey, go check out this video at the end of every video, tell them, direct them to another one. So, yeah. Remember, guys, we're sticking today to questions not really personally related to me, but I guess I'll answer this one. Here we go. Here we go. Will I ever branch out to other games like Overwatch, etc.? Possibly, we'll see. Although currently my target audience is really Minecraft, I do plan on possibly expanding that audience in the future. It's always a good idea to have like a business model that's open. That's good for me then. I watch 15 of my videos and what's news. Well, thank you for that. It really does mean a lot. It does help out the channel a ton because like all that stuff helps out a lot. How do you make with thumbnails? Photoshop and Paint.net. And there will be some way to replay some of this possibly in the future. I'll probably just public the whole stream, most likely, so you should be able to view all of that. But I think we're going to do 2 more questions. So, yeah. Okay, here we go. When you grow, should you start a shadow series? In my opinion, I don't think you should start a shadow series because they're kind of like a scummy way of growing. And they will give you a negative reputation quite quickly. You know, making somebody subscribe for a shout out, no, that is not a good way to do it. As well as just, you know, if somebody goes, oh, here, join my shout series, generally not a smart move. They don't really help as much as they do help the other content creator. They help them more than they'll help you. But what I would suggest doing is, if you're going to, don't shout somebody out, but if there's a content creator who you enjoy and you think they deserve a shout out, try to film with them or try to communicate with them and try to come up with a way where you guys can do something together to bring together your channels, even if they don't relate. Like, even one's gaming and one's news, make a gaming news video or something. I don't know. You know, something of that sort. But don't really do shout-out series per se, because, like, it's sort of kind of, like, sort of a scummy way, I guess, of growing in nature. And it's not really, like, going to help you all that much, because, like, you're going to mostly get dead subscribers, if anything, which is people who just subscribe to you, and inflated numbers. For instance, having, you know, like, if you have 100,000 subscribers, but you're only getting like a couple hundred views a video, that looks worse than if you were getting a couple hundred views a video with 100 subscribers. See, like, it honestly will look better. So, like, don't work for inflated numbers, work for like legitimate numbers. It's kind of a confusing concept, but it's definitely a strong suit. And I think what we're gonna do, guys, is we're gonna have one more question. So everybody go ahead and ask your questions, and I'll be picking one that I think is a great way to end off today's Crafting Success live stream. So, yeah, like, it's going to be awesome. So, let me know what questions you guys have. Come on, everybody put them in the chat. I mean, this is going to be the last question, so hopefully it's a good one. I mean, it's going to be a good one. You guys are always good at this, like, question thing, so that's the thing. All right, there we go. Here we go. Now, here we go. Let's go ahead and do this. We got one more question, so whoever wants to ask some questions, I'll be choosing one in like a second here. I'll choose one when this round's over, and then we're going to go to another round, and that's where I will choose the question. So everybody has a chance to type their questions and get them in the chat and, you know, get their question asked. And then possibly I'll answer it, because we're going to answer one more in today's stream. And of course, I will do these in the future if you guys do enjoy, so just let me know in a YouTube comment and all that sort of thing if you guys did enjoy. And, you know, if you have any other questions regarding this, let me know. I mean, I will happily do it. All right, and the last question comes from Alex Productions. When do you believe you should upload? Let's say you have exams and you upload. Would that be a bad time to upload, or just whenever you can upload? So I think that something that's really important with YouTube is time management. So if you're in the middle of exams, try to record some pre-recorded content for it, so you can focus on the exam and all that stuff at hand, because obviously YouTube's a balancing game. And a lot of up-and-coming creators that I've personally spoke to struggle with this. You know, they can't make daily videos because their time management is poor, or they can't make once-a-week videos on the same day because their time management is poor. Like, it doesn't work. So in my opinion, what you need to do is you got to really focus on time management. Like, for me, for example, I personally don't even record every day. I record probably like every other day, but I record in segments, sort of thing. So it like actually works, because like my schedule is where, you know, so that way if I got sick, I have enough videos where I'd be okay to not record for like over a week and still have the same amount of videos. That's my time management there. Like, it's important to have that. It's important to, you know, have a schedule that you can consistently follow. So if you can't make daily uploads, don't advertise that you're making daily uploads. Advertise that it's frequent content rather than daily uploads. But it really just depends on what you're saying. But I gotta say, guys, thanks so much for coming out to the stream. It really means a lot. Thanks for checking out the video as well on YouTube. It does mean a lot to me. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. Make sure to check out my Twitter and my Discord. If you guys have any questions, let me know on any one of those sites. I'll happily get back to you guys. And if you guys want me to personally help you a bit, let me know. I'm always down to do something like that. I can always check you guys out and sort of thing. But that's going to wrap up today's stream, and hopefully I'll see you guys at the next Crafting Success live stream. Let me know down in the comments below what kind of crafting success you want to see next, what topic I should specifically cover, whether it be on YouTube, Minecraft, anything life related, just let me know. But I'll see you guys in another live stream. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!